All right, so let's do a quick lesson on how to use a printf. I'll get rid of this stuff. All right. So what I want to do is just load up a couple of variables here. At var variable is equal to, let's give it a value of 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 is fine. Let's give this a value of hello world. And then let's create a floating point variable. ATVARIABLE, and that's going to equal to 1.2345. Okay, so this, let's make that a double so I don't have to cast anything here. VARIABLE. So there we go. Now I have 3 variables. I want to use printf to format these a little bit. Okay, so what I want to do, instead of a print line, I will use the printf. In general, a printf will work just like a print. It will not add a carriage return line feed at the end like a print line. So it operates just like a print. And here I could put string input variable. Oops. Okay, don't know my own strength. There we go. And output that. And so I'm going to copy that down, show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to put output the same thing 3 times. And what you'll find when you run this, it operates just like the print statement. It just prints all on the same line, no carriage return line feed at the end, or a new line character, whatever you want to call it. So a printf, though, you wouldn't want to use it really unless you're going to format. And formatting is limited what it can do, but it does give us at least a little bit more power. And by the way, if you're on a Linux machine, which is what my primary development machine is, or a Mac, which is what I'm running on here, then you can use the console window, or it's called the terminal window, and either one to give you some nice colored output rather than just a plain old black and white. Okay, to do so, let me just show you real quick. I want to go into an application or a Java file that I created called test Java. And you'll see in here what I have is some defined variables up here at the top, not variables, but they are constants, and they are defined as terms of these escape characters. I know it's hard to see, but anyway, with these, I can use my print statements along with these escape characters to color text. All right, so I'm going to get back out of this and then just compile and run it. Compile, run, and you'll see I can change the text color, I can change the background color, and I can do quite a bit of stuff with that. Unfortunately, the bad news is Windows will not allow that in Java, unfortunately, because it would sure make it more interesting. So Windows 10, I have heard, has included that feature, but I have Windows 10 on another laptop that I have tried that on, and it does not work. And it has the latest version of Windows 10 too. All right, so back to this, printf. So what I can do with printf is this. I can offer up a field, it's in a string field, a string literal, as a first parameter, or the first argument that goes into this printf method. And as the first argument, it's a string literal that defines some formatting features of what I'm going to send it, which in this case is a string input variable that has hello world in it. Okay, so in here, I'm going to use a % sign to mark what comes next is going to be the format rules for this output. So I want to make it a 30 character wide column, if you will, and it's going to be a string. Okay, so I'm going to, and then at the end of that, I'm going to put a carriage return line feed in there, or a new line character. Okay, so let's go ahead and run that. And you'll see there's my 30 character field, right, along with my new line character, and then the other two outputs below. Okay, so big deal, right? I can define another one. Let's make it a 20 character wide field, and I'm going to make it another string. And at the end of that, because I have two fields defined now, all right, one that's 20 and one that's 30, I have to have two variables to the right. Okay, so that means two parameters over here. So I'm going to make my second one a string literal, and it's going to be just output foobar, for lack of anything more interesting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and comment these out since they're sort of useless. Okay, and that deals, so we're dealing with this one line. Run that, and you'll see now I have a 30 wide field, right aligned, and then I have a 20 wide field that's also right aligned. But when I left align this, I come in right after my marker there, the percent sign, and put a negative, which tells it to left align that the second argument here. All right, so I'll save that, run it, and you'll see now it's left aligned, but I want a space in there. To get to space, I can come back and add any character in here I like. For example, if I wanted space in between those two fields, all right, I can just come in here, add it, and it will put a space in there for me. Okay, so any other thing I want to add in here besides that percent, then I can come in here and add it. Let's say a dollar sign. I want to print out a dollar sign foobar. Okay, well that's a good reason to pull this double in. I'll copy that, and instead of having a string here, I'm going to put the double. But now I have a problem because I've defined this as a string field. Okay, so if I run it, and you'll see this, what you'll get is it treats it as a pure string, and I don't want that. I'd rather have it something I can round the numbers here instead of just have a string. So to do that, I'm going to change this, right, to a dot 2F. So that says 2 decimal places and a floating point value is coming in. Well, that's what this is a floating point value. So I save that and run it, and you'll see that it rounded it to 2 decimals. And in fact, what it will do is it rounded down because that's a 4. But if that were a 5, then it will round that 3 up to a 4. Okay? So anything 5 and above, it rounds up. And you'll see that turn into a 4 right there. Okay, so that's a float, and I can add another field in there if I like. And let's do an integer value since I have one sitting up there waiting on me. And I could do a percent sign. Let's make that a, I don't know, a 5 wide field. And then it's going to be a D for decimal type. And let's say I forget to add my other argument over here and run this. If I have a mismatch, then what I'll get is this missing format argument exception. If you see that, that means you have a mismatched number of arguments to match up with your percent signs or the placeholders over here to the left. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and add the integer variable and see what I get now. Save that, run it, and you'll see now a 1, 2, 3 down here. That's because I have a new line character in the wrong place. Come back, run that again, And you'll see now I have right aligned in a 5 wide field an integer. I could also left align it the same way I left align the string. Come in here, put a minus sign before the 5, save that, run it, and you'll see it's left aligned there. Okay, I could put a space in here, and I can add something else in there if I like to, just for formatting. And I could put that in there like that. All right.